Hello everyone, welcome to Music is a Journey. I'm Peter and this is my second video, which is part of my entries into all these contests and tags that are going around these days. So today I am taking a look at Darryl from Northern Vinyl Guys contest. And Darryl is having a contest in celebration of getting his first dislike on a video. And to celebrate, he's going to have his wife record a video of him running naked into a snowdrift. Sorry, no, no, that's not what it is. Not what it is. Sorry, Darryl is celebrating being in the vinyl community for 1 year. That's what it is. And he did actually get his first dislike on one of his videos. And I understand that's a kind of thing to celebrate because, you know, when you only get like a couple of hundred views or less, they're mostly your friends, you know, other members of the VC community. We're all nice to each other. But once your video starts reaching outside of your kind of friendship zone, the friendly people zone, that's, you know, when your videos are getting bigger and you start attracting people who are going to say your video sucks and give you a thumbs down. So that's a big thing. Another big thing of having you know your channel is growing is when some of your videos start getting advertising at the beginning, you know, commercials. So anyway, that's great for you, Darryl. Glad to see that you're making headway in the vinyl community. As far as jumping naked into a snowdrift, well, we're going to talk about the naked part later on. I think it's not actually naked, though. So I want to tell you right off the top, 3 reasons for watching Darryl's channel. The first is he has got the best theme song I have heard of anybody's vinyl channel out there. That theme song, I wake up with it in my head sometimes. I'm humming it during the day. I'm even singing the lyrics sometimes. It's great. I want a CD. Another thing is Darryl has a very interesting he has an interesting range of music he's interested in. He's into a lot of 80s stuff. He likes a lot of 80s pop, as well as he likes some metal and some hard rock. And then he'll go and pull a really obscure folk album or country album out of nowhere and present that. So there's, you know, always some surprises on his channel. And I guess the third thing that I just find really cool is that his favorite band of all time is Glass Tiger. I've never met anyone who had Glass Tiger as their favorite band. I just think that's really cool. So anyway, let's get on. What is he giving us here? 9 questions to participate in the contest. And the very first one is an unusual song, lyric, or word. So I'm gonna go with this album here. This is the debut album by Evership, a prog band. This came out 2016, I think it was. Really great combination of progressive rock, but with a kind of 70s rock, almost AOR in places flavor, but in a progressive way. And who's the guy who's behind all of this now? Anyway, it's by a guy who used to be a drummer in a Christian alt-rock band, and now he's doing piano and keyboards and so on. And then his vocalist is Bo somebody, but he has got a great rock voice, excellent singer. So I am picking a song here called Ultima Thule, and I want to share a couple of the lyrics here. So one verse, I don't know, this is a verse, it's not really a chorus, but anyway, one part says, so this is about a young woman who's married to a man who is a sailor, and he's off at sea, and there are a lot of risks of going off to sea during these times. So one part says, will the whore of the ocean swallow her love in the deep? Deus miserator, rise him from sleep. I don't know of any song lyric that says Deus miserator except for the Psalm Deus miserator, which I didn't even know about until I looked it up. And then another part says, let the maelstrom arise now to seize them. Let children of Charybdis turn them. Let the tempest of Boreas drive them. Past the Ultima Thule is the edge of the sea that will easily fulfill the need. This song reads really incredibly. It's quite a fantastic songwriter. So yeah, the children of Charybdis and Deus Miserator. Yeah, those just pop out to me, like who uses those in their song lyrics? Okay, so the next one is to show a pressing from a country that you do not live in. So yeah, I mean, I could have dug around and picked lots of stuff. I'm not showing any albums. I'm going with CDs, but this is one I picked up last year. Steel Mill, Green Eyed God. This is an early 70s progressive rock, heavy rock band. They've got a lot of acoustic parts with flute, as well as the more heavier rock style. And this particular reissue is from 2009, Austria Record Finder, from Vienna, Austria. So there we go. This is an Austrian pressing of this reissue on CD of this album. Next up, show an album from a province or state that borders yours. Or show an album by a band or artist that has a connection to Canada. So I'm going to bring out this, which I haven't shown for a long time. This is Carabao and their album Holofinium from 2016. This is a German progressive rock, melodic rock. I'm going to say band, but actually it is one guy, Oliver Rusing. Originally when Carabao started, it was a 6-piece band. Oliver was the drummer, but gradually members left and Oliver was finally the only one remaining. And as members left, he just took up their instruments. So now Oliver plays guitar, keyboards, bass, drums, sings, writes the songs, records everything, mixes everything, masters everything. He's behind the whole shebang. He even does the artwork for the cover of the albums, because he used to be, until recently, he was actually an art teacher. Anyway, what about it? By the way, if you want to know more about Carabao, I will put a link to episode 4 of Music is a Journey, which was dedicated entirely to Carabao. Now then, what is the connection here to Canada? Because he is a artist living in Germany. He's a German guy living in Germany. What are the chances, eh? But yeah, there's a song on disc 1. It's track 7. It's called River. And the singer on that song is Michael Sadler from the famous legendary Canadian band Saga. Saga never really made it all that big outside of Canada, but they were big in Germany, and they still go back to Germany to tour. And Oliver Rusing, he was a fan of Saga, so he contacted Michael Sadler, or got a hold of him anyway, and Michael Sadler guests on that song on this album. And sometime after that, Carabao actually opened for Saga during their German shows, and then Michael Sadler came out to perform that song with Carabao as part of their set, before later on Saga came on to do their own set. So that's a connection, Canadian connection. Michael Sadler of Saga singing on one track here of this German band Carabao. Okay, what do we have next? Show a music-related album that you have in your collection. Okay, so the first one that I wanted to show is this here. This is No Speed Limit Quebec Metal 1964 to 1989. Of course, there's no metal in 1964, but it just covers the history of the Quebec rock scene going back to the 1960s, and eventually takes us up through the 70s and into the 80s. And the reason why I bought this is because there is a whole chapter on Voivod, one of my favorite bands, and the cover art is designed by Away, the drummer of Voivod, who also does all the artwork for the Voivod albums. But Darryl has a fascination with black metal. He doesn't like it, the music, but he has a fascination with the scene. And he was kind of hoping that I would show something black metal. So this is, what does it say here anyway? True Norwegian black metal, photographs by Pete Best. And, it's a big, big book. I don't know, it's hard for me to hold this up here. I'm probably going to strain something. Let's see. Like that. Like that. Some Norwegian nature scenery. And anyway, lots of famous Norwegian black metal musicians in here. So that is true Norwegian black metal. Okay, next, number 5 is show an 80s album. So I'm going to show this album here. This is the second album by a band called Rabbit. spelled W-R-A-B-I-T. This is their second album, Tracks. Rabbit were an early 80s band that combined the early 80s heavy metal sound with a more epic and progressive style. So this was an interesting thing. I find there are some bands like Rabbit, some songs by a band called Tease, and another band called Tension. There was this heavy rock, progressive rock with keyboards style of music that was developing in Canada in those early days, which later on just disappeared as the whole like glam rock, hair metal, whatever scene moved along. And so Rabbit wrapped up after 3 albums. But the guitarist, John Albani, later on became the guitarist for Lee Aaron and worked together with her from 1984 all the way up to the mid-90s. So anyway, that's how it is. I heard about Rabbit because of the John Albani connection, and I got their first 2 albums in Japan. So this is a really cool album. Lots of very interesting songs on here. If you like that hard rock, heavy metal mixed together with a kind of more epic, progressive approach. Cool stuff. Next, number 6, tell about a struggle you have buying music. I think for a while, like living in Japan, it is really a great place because there are so many niche markets here that you can find a heck of a lot of stuff. Take for example this Rabbit album here. How was I going to get a hold of that, I wondered. And it turns out it had been reissued in Japan. So a lot of obscure stuff is fairly easy to find here. But the hard thing, often because I'm interested in a lot of Canadian artists, it's not always easy to find them in Japan, and I have to search for them overseas. And for a while that was not a big issue, but the yen has depreciated a lot over the last several years, and as well shipping prices have gone up. So now often I can find an album for say like $10, $12, but once you calculate in the exchange rate and the shipping, I'm suddenly paying what I would consider to be like $35. So like long ago it used to be, I would say $1 US dollar equals 100 yen, and so I would kind of gauge the expense of things like that. You know, if I could get more for 100 yen, that was great. If it was a little bit less than that I could get, it was still okay. But now it's like, it's almost like 150 yen to get $1 worth of stuff. So yeah, that's the hardest thing I think for me now, is just that it's getting very difficult to get stuff from overseas. If I can't find it here, it's going to be expensive. Let's see here. A grail or sought out album you would like to get this year. Okay. So originally I was going to pick an album called Nador by a band called Les Variations, a French band. They were a really raw sounding hard rock band in the late 60s, and their debut album from 69 sounds really awesome, and I would love to get a hold of that. More recently though, there is an album by a band called Tokyo Shoegazer, which I heard about from Richard S., and their album Crystallize sounds great, and it is the album to get, but it is going to be very expensive to get a hold of it because I get is the album to get, and it has never been reissued in 20 years or something like that. So that might also be one. An album people would be surprised you own. So this is a CD called the Universitetskorrekt Polyphony Live. Okay, I'm not really sure. It's Danish, and it's a rather long Danish word. Something anyway about a Danish university student choir. And the reason why I have this is because there is a young lady here wearing a black bikini. She was a friend of mine. She was working as a nanny in Canada, and through the Danish church in my hometown of Surrey, I got to know her. And we became friends, and we hung out, and you know, I invited her along when I went out with friends, and she made some friends and invited me to go out with them. So, I mean, we knew each other for a good couple, 2-3 years. She went back to Denmark, and we stayed in touch, and she sent me this CD. So I've actually never listened to it, But here is their entire university student choir with her there. Later on, she got married, and I think shortly after I came to Japan, somewhere around 99 or 2000, we fell out of touch. I guess she got married and moved, and I don't know where she went. So, but anyway, yeah, that's a university student choir that I have in my collection. Thanks to Malena. And finally, number 9 is to mention a non-music YouTube channel you like watching. So I'm going to mention a channel called Reacteria. The guy is Forest Valkai. He is I guess he's a biologist. I don't remember what field of biology he specializes in. But his channel is all about reacting to videos that try to discredit science, particularly ones that say that, you know, evolution can't be, and ones that want to focus on creationism. So he has a lot of knowledge in biology, as well as he has some knowledge in other sciences such as chemistry and geology. His videos are very entertaining. He's a very lively guy, a very animated guy. He's good with the one-liners. He also points out many fascinating details about science and biology, and has a lot of appreciation for the natural world from a biological standpoint, or even a scientific standpoint. He knows about how science works, and I just find his videos very entertaining and very informative, and also vindicating, because I am on the side of evolution and science as well. And anytime people start trying to make up crappy stories about, like, oh, it can't be right because of this, and then they get the facts wrong, and he just comes in and points out all the holes in their presentation. And I love that stuff. So anyway, there you go. Okay, oh yeah, so finally I have to choose. If I win the contest, Darryl will either send me a random selection of CDs, or he will have his wife record a video of him jumping into a snowdrift wearing a t-shirt and shorts. Now, Darryl, I don't know if you've seen that Norwegian guy who goes out in a pair of shorts, knee-deep snow, and then coming up, clearing snow off a bathtub, taking a chainsaw to cut the ice off the surface of the water, and then he climbs in with a bottle of aquavit and sits in this bathtub of ice water in his shorts. So you've got some competition out there. You got to show this guy up, man. You got to show, if Canada is the true north, you got to go out and jump in a snowdrift in your t-shirt and shorts. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. That's it for my video, and my second video for this weekend. I'm going to try to do a couple more. Everyone, thanks for watching. Darryl, good luck with the contest, and good luck with gaining more subscribers. You deserve it, man. That theme song is awesome. Okay, bye folks.